Normally, I would start off the show with good evening, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and I guess I would be kind of more, what's the word, energetic. But this one is kind of is actually very hard for me because today's show, we're going to be honoring the memory of basically a brother. I'm not going to say a dear friend because it's beyond that. I'm not going to say like left-hand man or, devil on my shoulder as I call all my people. He's a brother, and with me today will be people whose lives he's affected and had an impact on. With me live right now is Mama T, the mother of James Henderson. Want to say hi?
Hi.
And I'm bringing on the show another brother from another mother and father, Mr. John Hand.
How you doing,
also
buddy?
his uncle, Michael. I keep saying William. I'm going to get it eventually. Another brother, Kurt, and our sister-in-law, Raina.
Hello.
I'll go down the list of people. Is how I know them and who they were. Brother John is first family for life. James introduced me to him and his little race car back about 10, 15 years?
Longer than that, buddy.
Longer than that. Yeah, about 20 years. 19 years.
That, yeah.
19 years ago. Yeah. Yeah. Pulled up in a crib, and James comes out. He's like, yo, I want you to meet this guy. He's cool. Then he gets out his car. He looked a little nervous at first because of where we were at in Camden. And then he stood up. It was like, well, at least you're close to my height, so I got another tall person around me. And come to find out, he was the baby of us all. So he's like the little brother. Also, got his Uncle Michael here because he has a lot of background about James. I met him. I wish it was under better circumstances, per se. But met the man. He's a cool dude. We're going to learn a little bit more about him as well. And he's going to tell us some stories about James from his childhood, I hope. Hope they're embarrassing.
Hey.
I want the tea. And I don't know how I'm doing. In the bottom right corner of the screen, got the other brother from way, we're not going to say how way back, but way back. Let's just say Vokey. No, Wilson. All the way back to Woodrow Wilson. I ain't gonna say how many years that go because I'm not gonna age myself. But
I got my fingers.
But yeah, we got Kurt, one of our closest friends, one of the original in the family of brothers. Somewhat a genius when it comes to computers. I'm still waiting for him to help me with this hacking thing I need to do. And I'll be legal hacking. Sorry, forgot.
No fun in that.
And he's going to tell us some stories about James that maybe I don't even know. Maybe his mother doesn't know, but she knows everything, so I don't think there's any rules. And also here is the fiance of my brother. She's officially in family regardless. Yes. Raina, she has some stories I bet she can tell about Jay, and she has some information that is going to be very relevant to what we're the next step of what I want to accomplish and what we want to do. So welcome to the show, everybody.
Thank you.
Howdy.
Thank you.
Who wants to go, Mom?
You want me to start tearing up already?
All right, we'll save you for last because if you tear up, you might, break something.
I ain't gonna break you.
First question I have for everybody. Uncle F. Okay, that's cool. First question I have for everybody is I don't know how to start this.
Okay. Why don't we do it this way? When was the first time you met James?
Thank you. Kurt first.
Oh, well, I knew that was going to happen too.
I knew it was going to throw him off. Perfect.
Well, I met James in high school. Basically goofing around in the auditorium when we weren't supposed to be in there. And yeah, we had a good time playing around, wrestling, throwing chairs at each other.
Wow.
All in fun. And yeah, just basically we had a lot of fun back then. A lot of fun. Too much fun. More fun than Mom probably would have liked us to.
Yeah, probably so.
How many times did you go to school again?
I love you, Teresa.
I know that you're gonna go there.
Okay. Yeah. It was a lot, and that's probably the reason why right there.
Yeah, that's a song right there, yes.
John?
I met James. What year was it? Anyway, year doesn't matter. He was working at Quiznos Subs. He was working at Quiznos, and I was working at Hollywood Video right next door to him. And I remember the first thing I asked him, because we went out on a smoke break. I guess it was the exact same time. And my lighter had broken. I go, yo, you got a light? He goes, yeah, I got one. Who the F are you? I said, I work over here at Hollywood Video. No beef. And we just started talking from there on. I mean, we've had some times where things were very hairy and we had a lot of fun. And then we think we got into some trouble, maybe. I don't know.
Don't want to say.
But I do. I'll keep that to myself.
Oh, okay. Secret.
Okay, I'll tell a little secret.
Okay.
And Dutch will know this little secret because it happened at the Parks Casino.
No.
Tell that one.
No.
Please.
You remember that one?
Yes, tell that one.
All right, go ahead.
So me, James, and Dutch decided we're going to go to Parks Casino one night.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, dude, it's too late. He goes, come on. All right. We all hopped in my car and we went over to Parks Casino.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm tapped out. I lost. They're okay. They broke even. So I'm driving through the parking lot, and Dutch said, oh, why don't you do some donuts in the parking lot?
Oh, okay. That's
Oh, it's another one?
I said no. Then James says, you ain't gonna come on, man. Come on. And he started punching me in the eye. Come on, man. All right, fine.
No, his exact words were "Stop being a bitch."
That's it. Well, I'm trying to keep my language, proper. So we go out to the farthest part of the parking lot, and I'm busting Huey's. Dutch is in the back seat. James is in the front.
Scared.
And now figure, I had a small car.
Mm-hmm.
Me and James are not. We weren't small people.
No.
And there must have been like maybe two front seats were in the back seat, and I don't know how Dutch fit in the back.
Split.
Well,
I had to do a split.
We're busting we're busting donuts in the back seat. Parks Casino police pull up. Yeah. let's just say I couldn't go back to Parks Casino for a little bit. They had my car a lock, and I'm like, yeah, I can't go back to Parks Casino now for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went back the next week. I just never told y'all.
Yeah, you did. No, you told me because James told me. And James was like, hey, guess where Dutch went? Dutch went to the Parks Casino. I was like, that motherfucker. It's like, damn.
I got a ride.
But James was the voice of reason sometimes. When you really needed it. James?
James was
You know what? James had the angel and the devil on his shoulder, but the angel poked out a lot. And he gave me a lot of words of advice. Trust me, when I got married, he was supposed to marry me and my wife. And unfortunate things happened and things came up and he wasn't able to do it. But I always have that here.
Right.
You know? And he's given me a lot of work. When my father passed away, the first person I called was James. That was the first person I called after my job and everything, you know. But yeah, he prayed with me, you know. He gave me a lot of encouraging words, you know. He helped me through it. And he was still, I don't care even if he's gone or not, he still is a good man.
Definitely.
Thank you.
You know, he will always be my brother. I don't care what anybody says. Always. And there's nothing anybody can say about it, you know. We've been in each other's lives for a while, and we've been, like I said, through our ups and downs, but we've always been through it and got through it. And I'll always have that memory, and I thank him for it, you know.
First family.
Always.
Yes.
I'm going to move to Raina first, and then Unc. And is that my mom in the background? Did I see? Oh, this is going to be good too. Grandma, I'm here.
Okay.
Raina, the first time you met James?
Actually, almost a year ago. Interestingly enough, on Facebook. So, long story short, I came across a post of his, and I was like, he seems genuine, and I was like, well, let me ask if I could DM him, put myself out there, and so I did, and everything took off from there. Basically, we fell in love, and we were engaged New Year's, and so I'm the one with the least amount of time with them, sadly, but it like if I do cry, don't mind me. It's still rough not having him. We had such long conversations and could talk about anything under the sun. And that's one of the 10 trillion things I appreciate about him. And whew,
Take it time.
yeah. So yeah, it was basically a whirlwind. I'll put it like that. Like I said, we had met almost a year ago, and um, we became a couple not too long after that. And and by August, I came out there to visit. My first time ever in New Jersey. So,
Mm.
like I said, it's been a whirlwind. And man, so like, whew, sorry, I'm just thinking about all the video chats and Facebook messages. It's like just great memories, great
A lot.
memories. Yeah.
I still have a
One day
voicemail
I
on my
can
phone from him.
lucky. Probably was like, "What you doing? Where you at? Answer the phone."
No, it's James. Seeing what you're up to, give me a call back. This was right after my
Oh,
father died. He left me that
uh,
message.
he was to me. I'm sorry. Wait, before I get into me,
Mike.
uh, Uncle Mike, Grandma, can you tell us any stories about when James's earlier years?
We had a beautiful grandson. He was the best. Him and I used to fight together. We had to get that little fight before we leave each other. He was a great, great grandson. Really was. Always talk nice to me. Always come around when he could and do what he could for me, which I love that. Oh, I just miss him so much. And he was a great grandson. Okay? Thank you.
As for me, I think the best, the one memory that sticks out in my mind is me and my friend, well, my best friend at the time, Mark. We had to take James to nursery school, and we had to take cupcakes because they had some kind of function or organization. And I had James sitting on my bike and sitting on the handlebar of my bike, and I had Mark had the whole pan of cupcakes on his bike. And somewhere along the way, he hit a bump, and there go the cupcakes. And us being, what, 12, 13, somewhere in there. The best thing we could think of was to pick them up and put them back in the pan, and it took them on up to the nursery school, dropped them off, and just turned our back and kept on rolling. It was like, what, we just, it just was what it was. And of course, no one found out until much later that that we had that little mishap along the way. But I do want to say that I think the best conclusion you could draw from James's life is an example of it's not where you start, it's where you finish. And I think that we are all here to work on being the best version of ourselves that we can be. And what I can say from the time that I spent with him, taking him back and forth to dialysis, is that I could see the growth in him. That he had matured a lot. He still likes to fight, but you could see the maturity in there a whole lot. And
He was the best.
yeah, I appreciated that. and we had gotten a lot closer, you know,
Sure
in those last days. And he will be missed. He will be missed. He definitely, you know, left a void in our lives, and
but he's still with us.
yeah, he's still with us in spirit.
He always will.
We just have to keep marching on because
Yes.
we will see him again.
Yes, we will.
And that's the best I can give you at this moment.
Mm-hmm. That's right. I used to take him to school too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Used to go take him up to the kindergarten, to school sometime, and go up there and get him. And he was very good, very good, very good, very good young man. Oh boy, we sure gonna miss him. But we keep praying. That's all we can do. Okay. Thank you.
Host.
Which one?
As you can see, I added another screen to keep James here with us in this stream as well. Hey John, have you ever seen a picture of James as a baby?
I think I did. Actually, the first time he brought me to his house, we chilled out. I think there was.
Crazy.
Yep. I remember he was always into his what was it? Jack. Oh, I forget what it was, but he had some nunchucks on a book stand right next to his baby picture.
Yes.
Okay.
I said, James, is that you? And he goes, and abruptly he stuttered a little bit and he said, no. I'm like, man, you lying. Man, don't give me that BS. You lying. Then he goes, you tell anybody, I kill you. I'm like, yeah, that's you.
Typical James answer.
Oh yeah.
Right over that chair over there.
Okay.
Can I say that?
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
No problem, Mama.
Barry and I used to fight over that chair over there. James.
Yeah. His
Oh, we
recliner.
used to fight over that chair.
That was his recliner, and they would have fights over it. James was saying, "Why are you in my chair?" He said, I'm taking your chair.
I said, this is my chair.
This is my chair.
Oh boy. Oh, we used to fight over that chair. Oh, that was so good. So nice.
Well, for me, when I was carrying James, when I was pregnant with James, I knew it was a boy. I wanted him to be born on the 29th, which he was, August 29th,
Really?
1 month from my birthday. And at first I wanted 10 boys. I think I got them all in one. Okay.
I'd agree.
He used to have an invisible friend that used to do bad things, and he would say it was Billy. And I said, okay, well, you'll get punished, and then you punish Billy. And that's the way we would do it. He would always try to take in, he would always ask me a lot of questions about different things. And I would answer because I felt like if you ask me the question, you need to know the answers. So I spent a lot of time, explaining different things to him. And we started having, every day we would sit down and have a talk. We would talk about problems. We would talk about why he was upset. We would talk about happiness. We would talk about what we wanted to do. We would talk about all different types of things, And I remember when he got to about 13 years old, he started reading my college books, my psychology book. So he decided to try it out on me. And he tried to use reverse psychology on me. And I said, James, why would you try something that I already know about? And he said, well, Mom, I figured I would try it on you. And I would say, no, that's the wrong thing to do. I said, why don't you go to school and try it on your teachers? He said, yeah, that's a good idea. He said, let me see what I can do, because some of them are really, I'm ahead of classes, and every time they give me an assignment, I get it correct. And then they try to take and embarrass me in front of the class. They ask me a question, and I would turn it around and say, well, what's your opinion? I said, good man. I said, you're doing great.
All at no cost to them.
Uh-oh.
Heads up action between James Mackey and Benjamin Zamani is about to begin here at WPT Choctaw. And on the last break, I had a chance
Take your time.
both players.
Yeah, I think something's wrong with the connection.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
How tough of an opponent is he?
Ben's very tough.
Is she all right?
Now you're about to go heads up against Ben, and the action of this final table has been pretty fast.
Yeah, I think something's wrong with the connection.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if it changes.
Well, I guess I will give y'all a little bit of background.
I'm sorry. A little technical difficulty there.
Okay.
Thank
I don't
you.
even know where I ended.
He tried psychology on the teachers.
On other teachers and everything.
Sorry about that, guys.
And it was funny because he said, Mom, it works. And, like I said, we started, discussing everything. And even in summer, I would help him learn more when it came to math, reading. So he was ahead before he went to school. We developed a friendship that we could sit and talk about everything, He would tell me a lot of things of the things he did with his little friends. So I know some of you guys' secrets.
Yeah, I be talking to him in the afterlife about that.
and I'm thoroughly frightened.
And he would tell me, because I know when someone would take and bully him, he would come out, when I'm picking him up from school, and he said, Mom, this guy want to fight me. I said, well, kick his ass.
Now the question is,
I said, nobody's going to jump in it because I'm here. I said, go ahead, do your thing. And he would get out there, and we both got in trouble at one of his schools because someone went back and told that I told him to kick his ass, and we were fighting on school property. So the principal wanted to see both of us the next day. So we went into the principal's office, and I explained what happened. I explained the boy kept bullying him all day, and he wanted to fight him. And she said, well, Miss Henderson, you can't tell somebody to kick their ass. I said, well, if they're going to keep threatening my son has to protect himself. And she said, true. She said, but next time, don't do it on school ground. I said, okay, I got you. All right. So I'll take him off of school grounds and we'll do it somewhere else. She said, fine. I don't care. Fine. But she turned to James and she said, good job. But I'm not supposed to tell you that. And I said, okay, that's between all of us.
That wasn't between all y'all. He told us the next day.
He told y'all the next day.
I couldn't tell you how many stories he told me about issues at school when he was in high school.
Yeah.
And people bullying him, and hey, they got what's coming to him.
A couple of other things he was doing in high school too. On the steps. So I know about that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I bet you don't. Mm-hmm.
Me and Kurt were not a part of those situations.
Anywho, and things he was doing behind Woodrow Wilson.
I wasn't there for that.
And I learned about a lot of different places. So, I knew about a lot of stuff he was doing. He told me a lot of things. He said, Mom, just don't get mad. Don't get mad. I'm telling you the truth. And I go, okay.
You the one told me to go through with that cancer.
Told me about one incident where I was ready to go and knock somebody out
Right?
because they were older than him. A lot
I
older.
didn't make it, but I did, didn't I?
So, James has, throughout the years, I've watched my son mature very much. And I've watched him assist different people with getting better with their lives.
Yeah.
He's also helped me get better with my life. He's made me stronger throughout the years. He's had me to exercise. He's taught me different exercises. He's taught me how to be patient. He's taught me to grow a lot, spiritually, mentally. He has brought so much to my life that it would take me another lifetime to tell everybody what he has done for me. Losing my son is like somebody ripped my heart out. And I'm trying to focus on his dreams that he had. And hopefully I can fulfill some of those dreams. Each day, I still expect to see him come in the house or do something crazy at the door. When he used to ring the doorbell and I would get to the door and he would say, some kids came by and they was ringing the doorbell. I said, funny, you didn't stop them. He said, no, they moved too fast. Or the last thing he was doing was the ninja. He was a wheelchair ninja. His wheelchair was so quiet, he could creep around and catch me and go, hi-ya, and scare me. He had so many different stories he made up, and then he made characters up with them, which a lot of people don't know about. He used to have such a wonderful voice that he would serenade. Sorry, Raina. He would serenade women with that voice.
Well, yeah, I've heard that voice.
Oh, no problem. No problem.
Yeah.
Bésame.
He could dance Spanish dances. He used to know how to take and do James Brown split and get up. He could do Michael Jackson's moonwalks and everything. And
look at Kurt's face. I think you just shocked him.
He shocked
you guys
me.
don't know a lot of things of what James could do. You didn't see it all.
Yeah,
you know.
I never seen anybody his size be able to move like him.
He could move. I mean, that boy could run. People didn't think he could run. Oh my God, he could run like crazy.
Yeah.
One kick.
He could kick down poles with them legs. They were like, oh my God, them things were like steel or better than steel because he could just knock something down. He could punch something and knock a pole down. Okay. Mm-hmm. I've seen him be angry, and instead of, because I would say, don't do it, and instead of hitting the person, he would punch a hole in the wall. Just go, bam, there's a hole. I said, well, you know you're going to fix that. And I remember I had two big clowns, and I didn't know he really hated clowns. They were big stuffed clowns. And I would come home, and I say, why is my clown leaning, his head leaning? He said, we had a fight. I wanted them out, and I knew you wanted them here, but I don't like them. he finally got me to the point where he had knocked all the stuffing out of him that I had to throw him away. I know he had a problem with people wearing costumes at Six Flags. Boy, I know about that one. I don't know if you guys know about it, but that's a story in itself. I'm not going to bring all that up. Okay. But with everything, he always had a heart about everybody. You know, he wanted to see the best for everybody. I miss him so much. He would do little things to make me laugh. He was here with everything. You guys talk.
Mike?
Take your time. Let it out.
Well, I can tell you, I know he loved his mom very much.
Sure
I
did.
know about all her boyfriends because James would always tell me to have me do a background check on them.
Uh-huh.
Make sure that, they weren't shady in any way. He definitely loved his mom.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes, he did.
Oh.
Oh, that's so
And we love you.
so sad.
That's
ain't
why we're here for you.
Yeah,
it?
when we first started talking, that he basically made it clear he and his mom were a package deal, and I was like, I'm fine with that. And whew,
Neither player raised pre-flop with these hands. 3 diamonds and a pair of fours, and the flop is an
Hope
8.
some of these wrinkles come out of here.
Mm.
I hope I'm doing the best I can, okay?
yeah, but it
With the fours, and he gets it
whew,
3 fours for James. He checks. Benjamin's all on no trap.
I know the feeling, Mama T. Like you already know. You already know. I'm right there. I am right there.
These are good.
Wow, he's betting 800,000.
I'm right there.
That's an overbid, as we say. And it brings up suspicion.
No, we got another pair here.
Because like going back to him wanting the best for everybody, that is it is so true. So absolutely true. But I just think back to all our conversations and you always felt his heart when he spoke. And
the flop of Jack 10-6. Nice flop there for Benjamin.
Yeah.
Oh, she's talking again.
Yeah. And I do apologize for my struggling speaking. Like I said, it's still a lot for me personally to deal with.
I have checked out Tiger in my mind. No sense in betting.
because I love him so much.
Chip lead in this heads up battle.
And
These guys,
whew,
young crews have
Go
very
ahead.
we were literally like two peas in a pod. We would always talk about how uncanny the commonality was between us. Mm.
25 Benjamin.
And whew,
Kurt, what's your fondest? What's your fondest? I'm sorry, Raina. I thought you needed a second. Kurt, what's your fondest memory of James?
There's a lot of good ones. Like I had to get my car ready to not be inspected because you know how that runs. And yeah, we had to drive 100 miles. So we just said, "Fuck it, let's go to Atlantic City." And we did. Went to Atlantic City, spent 5 minutes at the casino. Daylight broke. We went to the beach, chilled, came back home. It wasn't about doing anything but just chilling.
Mm.
And there was a lot of times like that with different vehicles. You know, with different vehicles.
Yeah, I know.
A lot of good times. A lot of good times when we were young.
Okay.
And I noticed everyone speaking about his maturity, and I did notice that too. Like he changed a lot from when I knew him as a kid to knowing him now. You know, like I could see the difference in him. It was obvious. And the one thing I keep thinking to myself is I'm glad he had someone that, because he was always in search of love. And if he found that, that's a good thing. He deserved it.
Yes.
Sometimes you're pushing at somebody and you just know there's a point that they're going to break.
There's one person that definitely deserved to be happy.
That's what makes it fun. Trying to guess when that's going to happen.
Agreed.
You just got tied, didn't it?
So is Mac. It's just fun to watch these guys play.
Little background. The EBH1 in my show is actually because of James. So that yeah, because we would always call each other a-holes and stuff, and after we would call each other a-holes because I don't want to cuss in front of my mom. But we always follow up with, well, everybody has one. So that's where the term EBH1 comes from, because me and him came up with that one together. As far as this goes, most recently, I was in a bad spot, and I was talking to James.
I want to wipe his bed down.
It was about the car, Dodge. I was talking to him about the Dodge, and that thing was on its last leg. He got in there. He was like, "What is wrong with your car?" I'm like, "Man, I don't know." It's either I'm gonna have to get up a lot of money or get a new car. It was like, well, I guess you're about to go get a new car. I was like, what are you talking about? My credit sucks. It was like, my credit's fine. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go to a place where I'll get my cars from. And drove me all the way out to Burlington, Henderson. And we sat down. The guy was talking jibber jabber. I was just sitting there zoned out, just show me the car. I just want to get rid of that car. Just show me the other car that I can go home with. And James is looking at me like, pay attention. I'm like, huh? He's like, pay attention. Now this speaks to where he was at as far as business goes, where I was at as far as business goes. I'm like, just give me the car. Like I just want what I want. But Jay's like, listen to everything he says to you because you're going to need to know this when it's time for you to do things with this car. I'm like, all right, I pay attention. He starts saying some ridiculous numbers. And Jay, I can see Jay's tilting his eyes like, did you catch that? I'm looking at him like, I called it. So now we like playing Dumb and Dumber with our eyes, having our conversation, listen to this guy with his conversation. And the guy was like, so you guys need to put $1,000 down. James was like, no, we don't. He said, what? The guy was like, what? He's like, we don't need to put 1,000 nothing down. This is what we're going to give you. And I'm like, I don't have that. Like, I literally looked at it like, I don't have that right now. I might have it tomorrow, but I don't have it today. So Jay's like, well, I got it. You got it. So we're going to go get this. And outside right now is sitting my brand new car. Like, and it's only because he saw like I was desperate. And he was like, I don't ask people anything. And he knew I wasn't trying to ask him. He was like, we're going to get you a car. I'm like, we? He said, yeah, we. And he was the last person in my first car and the first person in my new car. So in memory of him, I always talked to Mom about it. Mm-hmm. I'm like getting JEH put into the headrest on the passenger side because he was the first one in it and he helped me get it. So yeah, like when my mom passed, he called me and he was like, I know you're not doing well right now, so I'm not going to say how are you. I'm just going to say I'm on my way to you. So he said, like 10 minutes later, he pulls up. I'm sitting on the step, still like messed up. He just walked over to me and was like, you want to go bowling? I said, why do you think bowling is the answer to everything? He was like, hey, take out your frustration, throw some balls at some pigs, knock some things down. You'll feel better. It always makes me feel better. I'm like, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't feel like bowling. He was like, you want to go to Wawa? I'm like, why? He's like, well, I need a Red Bull and you need a Mountain Dew. So we can go we can go get those and we can talk about it over Red Bull and Mountain Dew. I was like, nah, I don't feel like doing that. And he's like, well, what do you need right now? I was like, I just need peace. And he was like, all right, get in the car. We drove to Cooper River, sat there, and he was just quiet the whole time waiting for me to talk. And when I did talk, all I said was thanks, you know? Because he was one of the people that like
very thoughtful.
That's right. Give me that right. That's right. Let me give that to wipe his beard down.
He was just one of those people. Like, if you needed it, he was there. And he helped out so many people in his lifetime. And he touched so many people with his presence. Like, James is a presence. Whether you recognize it when you first meet him or down the line, you realize there's something about this cat. Because the first time I saw James was in Vokey. And he had on this purple suit.
Why?
I don't know why. It's like we're in high school, bro. Like, why are you wearing a purple suit? Purple. And yes, it was the color of Barney. And I'm looking at him like, and my brother was standing there, and I said, who is that? He was like, oh. I'm like, why is he wearing a purple suit? My brother was like, I don't know. Lo and behold, he winds up in my class. Like, oh my God. So I look at him and he looks at me. We don't say anything, but I'm just like, he was a presence. Like, he just drew your attention to him. I'm like, okay, all right. A couple months go down the line, and the teacher in the class, Miss Brockington, I remember her name to this day. She was kind of mean. She switched all our seats around in the classroom. So James wanted to sit across for me. He's still wearing suits though.
Mhm.
So I was just like, yo, what's up with the suits, man? Like, just what's up with you wearing? Why you wear suits? He was like, well, I took up business technology because I want to. I'm about my business, so I dress like I'm about my business. And I just looked at him. I was like, well, there's nothing I can say to that. So okay. After that, it was off to the races as far as me and him go. Like we talked here and there. Then after I got kicked out of Okie, he came to Wilson. Thanks, Ma. Every day, it's just like he would say some slick stuff to me. I say something slick to him, and then it just grew gradually into like this brotherhood that we had. And like Taz, he sick Taz on me one time. Yep, the big old dog. Yeah, the big angry dog.
The little baby.
That was not a baby. He jumped on my shoulder.
He was a baby.
He jumped up and touched both my shoulders.
110-pound baby. He was a baby.
Tasmanian devil, but he ain't a baby. But that's one thing about Jay. Like, yeah, if I had to sum him up in one word, as far as from my perspective, it was caring. He cared about the people in his life, and he cared about the people that wasn't in his life. He had a big heart. So another thing I talked to Mom about is I'm working on starting a foundation in James's name for the research of catheter and dialysis studies, because I did a little bit of research. I haven't done much. I'm not going to lie to y'all, but I feel as though like there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way to treat people that are going through dialysis or any type of treatments than to have them. Life expectancy is what, 7 years?
7 years.
And James did it for 10.
He did it for about 10 years.
10 years.
And the thing about it is what Raina had got was information that said that in 1993,
85.
1993,
93,
they wanted to take in, they said that catheters gave a lot of people infections, and they wanted to find a new way to take in or something better than using catheters. Now, what makes me so angry about this is that even knowing that, they would not put in their stipulations when a person gets a catheter change. It should be checked. They should have their blood checked to see, or the catheter checked. I can't even think of the word right now, to make sure that there is no infection. Okay. And then when because he knew his body. He knew his body. And he knew when he wasn't feeling good, and he was having an infection. And the first time he had a severe infection, which was over 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And he kept telling them, you need to treat my infection. You need to treat my infection. Well, at the place he was getting dialysis, they kept prolonging it to the point that he ended up in the hospital, and the infection turned to gangrene, where he had to have surgery. This left him at a point where he had to end up being in a wheelchair. But James was fighting back from that. He was starting to walk. He was still going. We were going, keeping his fluid down. He was doing everything. But when he found out that he had his kidneys were failing, he started really taking care of himself, because he wanted to live. He didn't want to leave me alone. Okay. And he wanted to do different things for different people. But that infection put him in a wheelchair, and he was determined to get out of that wheelchair. Um, they were surprised. People at dialysis were surprised to know that he was doing so many things because he was even working before he got that severe infection. He was working. He would go to the gym in the morning. He would come home. He would on those days he would go to dialysis and then he would go to work. Okay, he was constantly moving at his job. I mean, he was surprising a lot of people because they couldn't believe you're on dialysis, but you don't seem like you're on dialysis because most people I know sit around and do nothing. He said, that's not me, you know. And he would do all this. But knowing that doctors don't always write down everything that happens in the hospital got me really angry at that episode that he went through at that time. Um, and everything that he went through then, he still was determined to get back on his feet, and he was doing great. He would surprise me by walking out his room, and he would walk. We have a counter that goes around to the kitchen, and he would come around and go, "Hey!" And I jump, and I'm going and look, and he's up. He's standing up, walking. You know, he would do exercise here where he was put his back against the wall and he would slide down and then slide back up. He had me doing, he even sometimes would take my walker and just be scooting around here, you know, just going, you know, talking about, see, I'm going to get this back. I won't have to use this. I'm not going to have to use this for long. I'm going to do this. But this last year was such a struggle for him because he had the different catheter ports that he had was closing up, so they had to move them. And then they would keep getting infected, and he would let them know, look, I don't feel right. I know I have an infection. You know, please check and see if I have an infection. And for him to constantly have to keep asking these people and telling them that they need to check, okay, it's something that I believe the medical field needs to put that in there. If someone gets a catheter or has a catheter for a certain amount of time, or even getting a catheter changed, it should be something that says you need to make sure that person doesn't have an infection. Well, with this last time he had like catheters changed in the last 2 months, he may have had them changed like 4 or 5 times. And then another thing what gets me upset is he has a severe needle phobia. Doctors don't take that seriously. They constantly tell you, get over it, close your eyes, turn your head. And he would let them know, look, I have a severe needle phobia. If you come at me with a needle while I'm awake, I can become very violent, and I don't want to hurt you, and then you turn around and hurt me. And he would tell them how to do it, you know. Oh, sorry. And for watching everything this last time and seeing everything that he went through, I felt as though to myself that he went through torture. Okay, because they were steady trying to put an IV in him while he was awake. And he kept telling them, use the catheter, you know, and they wouldn't listen. And to watch and see everything that he went through and hear him. I never want to see anyone go through that. I never want to see any family member, it is so painful to watch your loved one go through that. And nobody's listening. Nobody is listening to him. And they're going through the motions of every step by step is this is what we're supposed to do. And this is not running what they needed to do. He might have had a couple more years left without feeling like he's being ignored with his needle phobia and fighting off all these infections that he was fighting off. And I am praying that we can help other people to not go through what he went through. It's to see somebody fight so hard because he wanted to be around for loved ones and friends and people that he could help. It's not fair. It's not fair. And people can sit there and say that just because that was my son. No. I've worked in the field of I worked in hospice and I worked with other fields, and I've never seen a person go through what my son went through. And to see people not listening because he's trying to explain, I have a needle phobia. It's heartening to see that these doctors don't believe in phobias. It's not right. And to know that they know about the catheters giving infections, and to not come up with another solution since 1993. You haven't come up with any kind of suggestion of getting rid of catheters. I don't understand that. With all the money that they use with making all these new pills that have all these different side effects, you mean to tell me you can't put some of that money into finding something other than a catheter to use? Mm-mm.
This is the reason that I felt inspired to start this foundation in his name.
I know.
Because I see the hurt. I feel the same. Well, not the same. He's not going to punch me. I'm not getting punched for saying I feel the same way you do. No. I feel that pain because we lost a good one. We lost a great one. As he used to call himself, the Rock, back in high school, by the way. The great one.
He also called himself
the Phenom. The Superman. Yeah. Well, because I know that James was a person that wanted to help people, I want to start this foundation to help people in his name, to keep his name going, to carry his legacy of caring for others. So, any help I can get with this, like the right people to call, the right things to do, so I can get it off the ground and get it started, I would appreciate any of that type of help because I have no idea what I'm doing as far as starting a foundation. Um, I was going to call it the Phenom Foundation because that's a James thing, and that's my next move as far as I'm going. Also, get my car embroidered with JH and a headrest, but that's it's a personal thing. But as far as for the public, anybody can give me any information on how to get it started. I would love your help.
And his community outreach program is still going on. And I have become chairman now, chairperson. I say chairperson. Because he had the title of chairman of it. So it still is in existence. I'm still trying to keep his dream alive, and I'm going to work as hard as I can to build on his dream.
So, for all the people out there, if you look at the bottom of the screen right now, the community outreach program, collecting clothes for the less fortunate. If you have any donations, they can be picked up or dropped off. All you have to do is call the number that's at the bottom of the screen right now, 856-324-0527. We welcome all the donations we can get, particularly men's suits.
Well, right now we're getting ready to do one with Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies.
Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies.
That's for Father's Day. And that's going to be on June 16th. And we're like now at crunch time, we've only had one place to donate clothing for the men. We have reached out to several different stores and they have not gotten back with us or seemed like they were interested in it. We also have a event on July the 19th at the Cathedral Kitchen where we're giving clothing away for women and men. We also have a winter clothes drive coming up in November. As soon as I get the date of that, I will let you know. And we are giving away clothing for children, men, women. Also, our church, they are doing a clothing drive in October. I don't know the date yet, but that's the church.
Name of the church, Mom. Tell them the name of the church.
Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saint. It's Pennsauken Branch. It's located at 3303 Federal Street in Camden, New Jersey. So they're doing one in October. And that, like I said, is coming from the church. Okay. They have their own clothing drive and we have ours. So I'm going to start branching out to different places in Camden so that I can reach every person I can reach that needs clothing. Hopefully we can build on having clothing and we can start offering other things hopefully in the future. So we also have a Mother's Day happening next year where we're giving away clothing to the mothers for Mother's Day. So I will keep everyone informed. I will keep posting it when it's coming up on Facebook to let you know. And I appreciate everyone that has given in the past. I thank you so much because you are helping James do what he wants to do for everyone out there. So believe me, we appreciate it so much. So I don't care whether you're coming from New Jersey, Delaware, New York, Pennsylvania, wherever, if you have clothing that is usable and clean and ready to wear, we will find a way to meet with you and you can give us the clothes. And we appreciate everything.
Come up with final thoughts. Raina, is there anything you would like to say? Unmute yourself.
Whew. James has been, is, and always will be one of one. No, nobody can replace him ever. That he was a unique one. Like like Damien said, he had a presence, has a presence that will always be felt.
Kurt, final thoughts.
I really don't know what to say. I mean, I definitely feel for Teresa, especially knowing that it's something that could be prevented. That kind of angers me, and that's something I've always been very vocal about. People having, especially people of color, having more representative in the medical fields, because, like, as much as we all are the same, we're very much different too, and we have different medical issues, and when someone's put in that position where they can't get the proper care simply because of a bad understanding of someone else's physiology, then you shouldn't be in charge of caring for that person. There should be more representation. And I think, like what Teresa said, it's not fair. It's not fair. And that just really, really pisses me off. I don't know what to say to that.
But at the same time, I think Charlie Baker again.
I'm sorry, did you call me?
Yes. Final thoughts. Final words.
First off the claim winner last out, 3 for 9, 7 to
Just that
with a 4+
there will never be another
I think 2 to 1's fair.
James Edward Henderson, and we will miss him. And if anybody wants to volunteer to stay on me about keeping my van clean, you're welcome to, because I have no one to do that for me now.
I'll do it. I'll keep going.
Oh no. Oh.
Mom, you got anything else you want to say about James?
Well, he was a good grandson, and he's resting in peace. So all we can do is just pray for him. Okay? And pray for his mother. So, take care.
Now in the 5th position. To the 4 outside comes Goss. The 2 at the back, Tenebris, the trailer. That's 40.
We all love him. We all love him. We always will.
God bless me.
But he's resting in peace, right?
He blessed me with a wonderful child, and he was my blessing. And he's always going to be in my heart, in my mind, in my soul. He is a part of me. And I'm going to do everything I can do to keep his dreams alive, make them move forward, reach as many people as I possibly can, and remind everyone he's the one that started this. community outreach program because he saw a need and he wanted to help anyone he could. So I miss you, James. I love you, James. You have my heart. And I know I will never be without your presence. And I will always hear your little jokes. And I will always think that you're going to come around the corner and scare me and make me laugh. And I'll constantly think about the things you said that makes me stand stronger every day.
There's nothing I can say that hasn't already been said about this man. So all I can say is James, you were such an asshole. That's all I can say. I say that with a lot of love.
With love, and he brought me so many sons.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I say that with so much love. Like, this is how we were great. That's just how we talk. Like, that's one thing that I always carry with me.
He always did that. Yes.
Every time we saw each other, we would never say, "I love you, bro."
Nope.
We'd never be like,
nope.
You know, I'm here for you, bro. We just be, we literally would tell each other, "I hate your guts."
Yep.
And we would say the vilest things ever to each other.
And then they would say, "See, that's love."
See, that's love. Yeah.
That's love.
You can tell the purest thing.
That's love.
So, to keep that memory alive, I'm going to say this. My mom, please don't hurt me. It's just how me and James talk. I hate your guts with all my heart.
I know that's the way they talk. It doesn't.
And when I see you, I'm going to punch you square in the jaw.
That's love.
That's the way we show love.
Definitely love.
So, for all of us here, the Henderson family, by blood and extension, we want to say thank you to the people that have showed up, the people that will probably listen to this later, and we appreciate you taking the time out to hear about a great man in our lives. And we're gonna miss you, bro.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. We're gonna miss you. So for me, I'm your host, Dame G. I'm sitting with Mama T. Good night, everybody. Have a great weekend. I can't. Where's the music? Where's the music?
That's James messing with
That's James definitely messing with you. That's James definitely messing with you right now.
He said, "Oh no, you don't."
And thanks, John, for finally checking in. Sure. Play the music. He doesn't want to leave.
He doesn't want to leave.
He doesn't want us to go.
Go ahead, James.
I'm not even using the internet today. All of us here at the 16 Podcast, gotta end this on a smiling note. Thank you. We love you. Raina, Kurt, family for life. Don't even worry about it. Y'all will always be first family. James, this one's for you, buddy.
Hey, Red Bull.
Brandy and Coke.